Thank you for staying with us. The House of Representatives has summoned EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede, social media content creator Martins Ose, popularly known as Verydarkman, and a cross-dresser Bobrisky, that's Idris Okuneye, to address allegations of bribery involving the Anti-Graft Agency and Nigerian Correctional Service. This follows Idris Okuneye's April arrest on 6 counts of money laundering and naira mutilation, resulting in a 6-month prison sentence for naira abuse. Recently, a leaked audio recording surfaced where Idris Okuneye claimed EFCC officials extorted 15 million naira from him to drop the money laundering charges. An influencer, Martins Ose, known as Verydarkman, posted the recording revealing that Idris Okuneye's refusal to repay 4 million naira borrowed from one of the individuals who helped raise the 15 million naira. In response, EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede has launched an immediate investigation, while the Minister of Interior has also ordered an inquiry into the bribery allegations within the Nigeria Correctional Service. And it is reported that some senior persons at the Correctional Service have been suspended, so to speak. But joining us in the studio, our public affairs analyst, Razak Olukoba. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Veronica.
Right, and lawyer, political analyst, Adedotun Ajulo, is also here. Good morning.
Good morning.
It will be giving us insight into this development. But let me begin with you, Razak. This is not the first time we're hearing about situations like this. There has been stories. In fact, a journalist who actually, posed as someone tried to do an investigation to get details, and he brought out all sorts of stories of what is happening in the correctional service. But the reaction we're getting with regards to this is seeming like Nigerians do not necessarily understand what goes on in this place. But from your perspective, what do you make of this developing story?
Well, there are so many institutions that are involved in this. The prison service, which is the correctional service, like you have said, and the EFCC. Wow. Of course, there are decades in many of our institutions, and prison service is not left out. And it's not limited to the challenge we have there. It's also in numerous other institutions. I don't want to mention institutions, but you and I know that. So our institutions are very weak. Very, very weak. And you must not isolate the prison service only. If you want to strengthen it, we must do everything simultaneously. Yes. Now, if I say weak institution and in addressing it, where to begin is consequence. Are there consequences? Yes, the law. Are there consequences when some of these things happen? Yes. That's where to begin. And if you look at the percentage of crimes that has been established, that has been committed, put aside by penalties, if it is low, it is likely to be the reason why it continued. Now, as for EFCC, I don't want to liken EFCC as an institution that is having a challenge or that is a weak. Institutions like enforcement agencies and anti-graft institutions in the world are mostly aided by the people. People don't want to obey the law. People don't want to take money you have stolen back from them. So the anti-graft agencies, ICPC, EFCC, should know very well that they will always come for them. And that is why I like what the chairman has done. He swept into action immediately to investigate. There must be intervention by me and you to protect these institutions. When Farida came on board, sorry, Ribadu was the first one, Abi. When Ribadu came on board, we saw what happened to Ribadu. We thought maybe Ribadu has something, but we didn't know that it's going to be a recurring decimal. It happened to Farida too. It happened to Lamodi, Abi, then Magu, then Bawa. Then it's willing to happen to this man too. So we should know that has become a pattern. That is why
the society is fighting back.
Yeah, corruption is just society. So corruption is fighting back. So anytime EFCC matter is brought up, we have to be careful in getting to conclusion. And that is why our parliament should be very careful in handling the matter. Their role as a neutral body should be to assist the chairman. It's not to tie his hand from doing his work. Because apart from what Verydarkman did, there are so many videos I've seen claiming that Bobrisky has very powerful people in Abuja. And it was as a result of that that the parliament had to invite EFCC for penalty. That's a penalty. It's not to do anything. It's in social media. Everybody is saying that they want to penalize the EFCC for doing that to Bobrisky. So they also need to clear their own name too. They have to be very careful.
Is it penalty or to answer questions?
They say it's a penalty in some quarters. From perception, there's a penalty that...
now, those are perceptions from the people.
From the people, yes.
So we cannot base it on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have to be very, very careful. That what they need to do is to strengthen the EFCC. Whatever hindrance they have in doing their job, they must assist them. Which is that they must join other Nigerians who want to build a barricade around anti-graft institution from being decimated.
So invariably you are saying that from your perspective that there are no corrupt individuals.
No, there are corrupt individuals, but that should not be an excuse to decimate either the chairman or the institution. You know, that's where I'm coming from. That the individual that are involved in this...
Preempting the National Assembly?
No. What I'm saying is that the individual that are involved in this, everything should be done to be brought to... If actually it happens. But we must not drag it to a point where it's going to be another case of the chairman of the EFCC must go again. So we have to separate the two. There's the chairman office, which has always been trailed by this kind of they must go. Once they want to do a popular political case, the Ayabelo case is ongoing. And we have seen numerous protests. Sponsored.
Idris Okuneye is not a politician, so we do not want to think that...
No. What I'm saying is that I said we should be careful so that it will not be seen as someone trying to influence the parliament or weaponize the parliament to create distraction for EFCC. So, and as for Bobrisky himself, it means that there has been no penalty, which is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If the law, a competent court of law in this country has established that, thank God we have a lawyer here, has established the crime committed, and only for him to go out that it's just a just sojourn, I just went for an holiday, that means that penalty has not been carried out. And that's one of the reasons why people will continue to motivate our naira. That is why corruption cases will continue. If it's a slap on the wrist, that's always the case when something like this happens. So the EFCC, after the parliament in Imbroglio, need to invite him again. Investigate it, whether truly there's no penalty. If there's no penalty, that means we have to do something about it again. It needs to be tried again for that, and for also offering to bribe, and for someone also for taking, because it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
If you don't offer, it will not be taken. So the people who offer and the people who are also taking has also committed that crime.
Okay, let's come to our lawyer now to address some of the issues that you mentioned. First of all, he talked about the matter that our laws are seemingly weak. There are no consequences for actions, and that is why we have seen these kinds of cases continue. You will tell us if that is the case. And then he also said that corruption is what is fighting back in this matter. I wonder if you see it as such.
Well, I wouldn't want to take it that what Mr. Lokoba meant is that our law is very weak. No?
Institutions. Institutions.
Yes, okay. Institutions. Yes, I agree that our institutions are quite very weak, but not our law. And you see, in respect of this matter, there will be a lot of theatrics and melodrama by the actors involved. Talking about the very dark man of a person, talking about the EFCC, talking about even the Ministry of Interior. A lot of theatrics. You see, this is what you get when agencies of government and even ministry, they are jostling for relevance. Everybody is in a race to be seen as working when they are doing nothing. Even the House of Representatives itself, they are overshooting their investigative powers.
Really?
Yes. Really? They don't, you see, a very dark man, according to him, had an access to an allegation of this magnitude, what you are obliged to do is a big crime against the state. What you are obliged to do is to report this to the law enforcement agency. But rather, in the case of what they call clouds, the man was all over there to ridicule the country, went to the public, dragging some private individuals into whatever it is. Then, in response to his chasing of clouds, you now see ministers who should himself be probed, the Ministry of Interior. You now see ministers as well coming up in order to save face and the rest of it, immediately ensure persons were suspended. Up to now, we've not had a single denial or admittance by National Correctional Service of what is being put out there. In a rush, you see, before you know, you see a very dark man around the Minister of Interior, the same dark man that EFCC invited. You see, for the purpose of clarification, as far as the law is concerned, the sole person that needs invitation for investigation at this point is Verydarkman.
How so?
Yes, it's Verydarkman because this person has come up with a conversation, alleged conversation, a telephone conversation between Bobrisky and one other person. You need to come forward. As it is, it remains an allegation.
Right.
You need to come forward and establish this. And who is in the best position to establish? Is it EFCC? Now, let's even assume EFCC want to try to do their own internal, whatever it is, investigation. The extended invitation to Verydarkman, come over. The man was all over the air to tell you, I won't go, like Mr. Lokoba said, in decimating our institution. I won't go before EFCC. What if I get there because I don't have 50 million naira to pay? The same man was seen the following day with the Minister of Interior, shaking hands, and you can see him patting the back of the Minister of Interior. And now, to now make the mess more complex, the National Assembly, House of Rep, they are now inviting EFCC, they are inviting Verydarkman. No, as it is, you see, it's like, yes, they have this investigative power, but they are overshooting whatever it is that they have to do.
How so?
How they are overshooting it.
He's made his point.
You see,
no, let him land.
as it is,
right.
As it is, this is a matter that should be of genuine concern for the National Security Advisor.
And
this
not
is
the National Assembly.
Not the National Assembly.
Okay.
What are they doing? What are they probing? They should probe their institution. They should even probe the Minister of Interior. They should probe the National Correctional Service. They should probe the EFCC. But you are now inviting the same person that has failed to go before you. You are now by now the Inspector General of Police should be all over this matter. The DGSSS should be all over this matter. But like I said, the struggle to sell ourselves before Nigeria, the House of Rep is in a competitive race. The Concerned Agency are in a competitive race. The ministry are in a competitive race just to find this acceptance within the society. And we are heading nowhere. We are heading nowhere. Then again, why the National Assembly, why are they pretending as if there's anything that has been revealed in that audio that is not within the public domain before now?
Right.
What is it that is not within the public domain? A young man, Fisai Osoyombo, in 2019, you made mention of it earlier on, made a very comprehensive, practical, comprehensive report. Having subjected himself to the police, to Nigeria, was he invited?
Not at all.
What was National Assembly doing at that point? Nobody thought of inviting him. Just recently, the same young man has done his investigative, what is it called, journalism again, and brought a case against Nigerian custom. We all move on and see nothing was happening. Really? I'm not told that anybody has been invited. You are now saying you are launching a probe because somebody who is just all about seeking public attention through content and the money they make from creating content is coming up with.
He said he's trying to help someone who
whoever you are working. What I'm saying is this: we are not going about it the right way. Why is he not subjecting himself? Why is the DGDSS not all over this? Why is it the same EFCC that, either you like it or not, EFCC is alleged?
Because they were the ones that were alleged.
They were alleged
to have collected
Why
monies.
is it? Let them do their own internal whatever that they want to do. You understand? Yes. But this is a matter that should be taken with serious concern, not the so-called probe that they are doing. What they should even do at the last is what they are coming up with. They should allow police do their job. They should allow police do their job. They are overshooting.
Who is supposed to invite the police? They had to come in whichever way.
The police, as it is, with what is in the public domain already. The police are empowered by virtue of they are empowered by virtue of statute and the law to step into the matter as it is. It's a matter of grave security concern.
But as it is, they have not stepped in.
That's what I'm saying.
Every institution has its own mechanism for disciplining its own officers. If an army officer commits a crime now, you will see those army boys with a red cap. They are in that department.
Right.
They will be arrested and will submit to the army institution for appropriate step to be taken. But if it's a major crime, it will be taken over from them and taken to you. But there's an internal process that will be taken. So if an officer is accused in the EFCC, have you been able to apply the internal mechanism that has been established by EFCC? And that is the reason why, like I said, the man, the social media guy was invited. That, okay, come, we have our own institutional platform here where this kind of thing can be sorted out to. Come. It is after that outside body can then, because an institution, it's not an individual thing.
Absolutely.
It's outside that other institutions can then begin to intervene. That no, you are not handling this matter correctly. You now turn the chairman into a victim now. I am come and answer for your case. And that is why I said Parliament should be very careful. There are videos saying that Bobrisky has very powerful people in Abuja. We don't know whether that powerful people are in the Parliament. That's number one. Two is that
whether they are the ones that is insinuated or are pushing for.
Yes. Yeah. So also, before Bauer left, there are numerous protests calling for how EFCC has been handling Bello's case. It's been used to be in that. Now, with what has happened now, I hope those people protesting in the defense of Bello can now come out and say the same thing. So if Bauer had hated him, so this man too also hated him again. He made a lot. So we have to be very careful. And like I said, our institution that has been assigned to play a responsibility, if you put a barricade and prevent from doing his work, you are damaging the country. And that's democracy is not about when an army came to take over power, that your democracy is dying. When your institutions are also dying, because the democracy is dying. Because democracy is about accountability. When people say, sovereignty that I have submitted it to you, and the people in government mismanage it, that's you are killing democracy. So if we look at it from left and right, we know that there's a problem in this. And the way to move forward that I want to recommend is first, the sitting today, the Parliament should be very, very neutral about it. And
what would be neutrality for
neutrality,
you?
neutrality
obviously, you have shown that you are saying, from what you are saying, you do not seemingly trust.
Perception, general perception, but by the public, not only me, of the Parliament. It's general perception, not only me. Nigeria has always cared when something goes to the Parliament. Because there are so many issues on ground that we'll be talking about. But there have been those cases there. There's state police, there's security all over. There's hunger. There's a protest tomorrow about hunger.
Those are political issues.
What led to hunger? Yeah. Farmers can't go back to farm. The governments are United Nations talking about, I don't know what they are going to do. They go and do there. They are not sorting out the increase in security in their state. There's a power sector lying on the table for them to pick up. Our private power sector in their country. They didn't do that. There's fuel challenges. And as long as we don't produce enough fuel locally, in 6 months, fuel price will increase again. The governments are not putting up refineries. So there are so many issues before the Parliament that they have to be assertive to the governors. There must be state police. They don't do that. We are talking about some comic on social media. And you see, as long as we give liberty and freedom to people to say what they like on social media, because like I said, the minister's fear is that this very dark man may also expose my ministry one day. That's the fear they have for social media.
That's what you think.
That's
what
perception.
You think.
That's okay, perception. What kind of ridicule is that? A minister of a nation inviting frivolous matter of that nature. There are many agencies before it gets to the Minister of Interior. So it's because social media has been weaponized. So and as a result of that, they live a life larger than itself. That if I move against you.
But don't you think he's using the office of the citizen to question that ministry?
It's a wrong ministry to question such thing. It's the wrong ministry to question such thing. So
office of the citizen.
Yeah, office of the citizen. No, you mean the man?
Yeah. The Verydarkman. Is he not using his position as a citizen of Nigeria
the way you employ the capacity you have, either as a lawyer, as an activist, as a social media influencer, the way you use it must give more respect to your country.
Yes.
Not that it should ridicule your country.
Sorry, Mr.
The way he did, he carried on. It's a ridicule. There's nobody in the world that will watch that video and will add to the respect they have for Nigeria. They will lose more respect. So what you should do is to do what he has done. Let us report this matter to the police.
No, sir. You can see the way he jumped at attending whatever it is at the National Assembly. This same person that have been invited by EFCC or whatever. Let's assume that okay, he's exercising his right to say I don't want to come before EFCC. But you can see when you intend to help the country.
Right.
Indeed, if not for media,
or fight for the poor,
if not for the hysteria that's associated to social media, if you intend to help the country, then you come forward with whatever it is that you have. You come and hear them. You can see he came back to ridicule the EFCC on the social media, and you can see the way and manner he jumped at going to the National Assembly. It's for a purpose. Let's not get deceived. But who do we blame? Like I've said, a more decent report has been made before now about the rot in our police system into the Nigerian Correctional Service. We didn't do anything.
Maybe because it's not a social media influence.
It didn't call for it was reported everywhere, but it didn't call for the concern of the National Assembly. You know why?
Why?
It is the rot they all conspired to create.
How do you mean?
I mean, who are those enabling? Who are those enabling the rot that goes around the servicemen? Let me tell you something today. There is nobody in this country that is not aware that in our correctional facility there are classes of living. And it is unavoidable. You know why?
Why?
We have the impression, and that's why I said we should be fair to the correctional service men, because they are doing a lot to save this country.
Yes,
Number one,
our
correctional service are quite overwhelmed. Where you are supposed to have 500, you are having 3,000, 4,000 people with less manpower, with less servicemen. In fact, if being a lawyer, I'm close to the correctional service centers. I've been there.
Right.
Our servicemen in correctional service, those men, the warders, they live like servants to some of these inmates. Do you know why they have to do so? Because they are overwhelmed. If there should be a revolt, there is not enough manpower to suppress them.
So they have to be corrupt.
So they always bring the good book.
Yeah,
they always want to.
So does that mean they have to be corrupt?
Not to justify corruption, but let me tell you the truth.
Because that's what you're trying to do.
Yes, hold on. Not to justify corruption, but let me tell you the truth. It is unavoidable.
How?
As far as
Nigeria, there's no one that is standing morally upright.
Not about somebody standing morally upright. I mentioned something to you.
You're saying because they're overwhelmed.
Do you know?
That is why they have to.
Hold on. I mentioned something to you.
Right.
Do you know how long before even democracy that will be crying for prison reform in this country?
Of course. Almost on a year.
Was there a reform? Let me tell you, we are a nation that lives with this notion that a correctional facility is a place where you are dehumanized. And that is the place you are taking a politician to. That is the place you are taking a multi-billion naira drug baron to. So you expect him to get there or her to get there and be sleeping on the bare floor where you have 3, 4, 5, 10 persons in one room, a room that is supposed to be meant for 2. No ventilation. And the man you are putting in charge of this person is a man that is take home in a month. It's not up to 80,000 naira. I don't know you are getting it. But our ministry, the concerned agencies of government and ministry, they are more concerned about access to traveling passport, immigration, more than what has bedeviled us that they should be concerned about. Because when you are talking about the passport, that is going to make you gain more popularity.
Right.
It's for the elites. But the issue of Nigerian constitution, let's be fair to these prison warders. There is nothing that justifies corruption. But let me tell you this morning, there are situations you find yourself that you can't
have no choice.
You have no choice.
You
have no choice.
Veronica, there are conditions that you must first establish to prevent corruption in institutions. The first thing is the welfare. In fact, it starts from recruitment as an HR person. Then the second thing is the welfare. So it goes on and on and on and on. And if you itemize it, many of our men in enforcement agencies, like the Correctional Center, in the Immigration, in the Custom, including the police, the ICPC, and now the EFCC, those conditions are not met. So you have established a condition for corruption.
But we've been, like he mentioned,
so until you remove it,
reforms.
So until you, that's why we join us in this call for a restructured country. So until you meet it, don't assume that a 2 + 2 in this case can never be 4. So don't assume that you are going to get the best out of our officers. If you look at the police institution, in fact, they have my solidarity most. Strange enough, they battered my face. You see my face. They did so many things to me. But if you get close to the police, which is an an extension of the police, you will wonder, okay, is this the reason why they call? It's not a good reason to be corrupt too. But now you will now wonder, oh, no wonder. That's why each protest, these guys are not happy with you. Any matter doesn't concern them. You know, someone that has not slept in his home for 21 days because of lack of manpower. They keep recycling him. Recycling. You know, say you should go and stem one protest somewhere. He will definitely do something that's not supposed to do. The same thing with correctional facility. Everywhere in the world, there are special prisons. But it's done consciously. There are certain crimes. If you look at Teddy Bundy was a serial killer in the UK. But he was sodomized. He was raped. He was brutalized. So, any people who commit crime later in life, those are the experiences that led to that special prisons. If you are a suicide bomber, you kill people, you now want to be mixed with inmates, they will kill the inmate. So it's done consciously for certain inmates. So also, high-profile politicians, who people have known, people who are politically conscious in the detention, where they are serving their time, knew that the reason why there are so many people on the street, the reason why there are so many poverty, no education, ignorance, this man was part of it. He may be killed. So, but it's not that you'll be put in a place where there's a facility for his wife to come and visit him, for him to eat special food. So it's not for that reason. But in their own case here, the officers will willingly take it because there's no fuel in their generator. But there are dilapidated institutions there, rooms there, that if an inmate offers to do a repair, they will gladly take it because they have written countless of letters to this same interior minister. They didn't respond to it. So if someone is coming and is willing and it's give and take, if you are serving a term and you are doing donation for us, you are going to sleep in a special room. So if you don't create a condition, in Saudi Arabia, they say if you steal, it's either they cut your hand. If you bring drug, you'll be killed. But they have removed condition for stealing first. No poverty. You must get salary. It is the country that have seen that is the most charitable. So you can't say you steal because you are hungry. It's removed. So before we tell our officer to do this, you must first remove all those conditions. So now, to the case on ground, like I said, let's do the appropriate thing. So that it's not going to inspire more people to go to social media and insult somebody again and become a champion again. Let's do the appropriate thing. After the parliament, this man needs to go to EFCC. He needs to come and establish his case. If the video is okay, then if there's a law that says that without somebody's content, you can play certain video in the public, that means it's okay. But if he did it against the consent of the Bobrisky man, the lady or boy or whoever the guy, if it's against his own consent and the consent of the conversationee, that means he has a lot of case to answer. So either he likes it or not, either there's a soft landing for him by the parliament, he needs to go back to the EFCC to establish that case. Well, not because they want to suppress it, because it is only EFCCs that have the instrument and the capacity to do a thorough investigation of who took the money, who is the officer, how did it happen. So that the internal route, we are going to assist this man, it's going to assist this man to begin to uproot people who create barriers for judgment. Because there are so many cases in court today that he can't fly because of roadblocks by a lawyer. Who gave them a leadway to that roadblock? It's that those internal officers. So Verydarkman is going back to EFCC after the parliament.
As a lawyer, there's something I just need to correct here.
Right.
You see, I beg to say that legally, nothing is banding Verydarkman to go before EFCC to be investigated. You must get to know something. There's a Supreme Court case whereby it was heard that all that EFCC can do is to investigate financial crimes matter.
Yes.
Even if you go to EFCC today and you make an attempt to shoot at Olukoyede, at that moment, it's no longer within the purview of EFCC to handle. So, legally speaking, there is nothing, as much as I know, compelling Verydarkman to. But morally, and if you are very sincere, why won't you go? If not that this is meant for certain primordial motives, why won't you go before this same EFCC to go and give them the evidence you have in order for them to take care of the case in the against their officers?
Right.
Can I clarification?
Yes,
against their officers. As a lawyer, I want to clarify something for you. Is it not good to ask Verydarkman, not because he's going there to be prosecuted, that this video emanates from you, because they may be denier.
Okay.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
My feet. If it's established, he has nothing on that case.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's the only question I want to ask you.
I'm saying.
So it doesn't need to exercise any fear. My insistence that I should go there is not because it's going to answer any question.
No, as a lawyer,
so that somebody will not say that it's
as a lawyer, I just feel I should clear that. Indeed. Why won't he go? Like, I'm very angry for him not to have even gone to EFCC. That is why I'm more concerned.
So it's me.
That's why I'm more
concerned. The one that did it.
Yes, that's why I'm more concerned about the acceptance he was not having all around agencies, ministers, and all of that. The fact that, you are not even going before the same EFCC. Then, how will you say you are trying to help the system? Are you there, sir? How will you say you are trying to help? That's the question. Trying to help the system.
That's the question.
So, legally, it's not banded. For me, it's not. There is not banding him.
So in overall, all these institutions, if there's a law which is maybe colonial, that prevents some of these agencies from thoroughly engaging with the public, that law should be expunged too. Because if you have discussion with some of the police officers, some of your concerns, why can't you bring it into the policy? The law does not allow us. So a democratically instituted country like this requires a modern police. And our modern police needs engagement. The same thing with all our institutions. And that is why EFCC needs to do more in terms of engagement, to prepare our mind that the work we are doing, they will come for us. And they may come in numerous forms. One of these might be the form. They should be, yes. So they are not doing enough in terms of engagement. The civil society, someone did a press conference last week on his own, on Bobrisky and Abelo's matter. But it's supposed to be in conjunction with EFCC. So but at times, they are always unwilling. No, we don't want to appear as if we have gone beyond. So
because the same society can interpret it as
yes. So if I mean, asked several times, did the police give you money? So police will give me money for arresting criminal, for saying that go arrest criminal. You see, it's not why when I support criminal, you should be asking me that question. So for saying that EFCC should do the needful is the most appropriate, and they need to do more engaging, particularly EFCC, ICPC, and all those anti-graft agencies. If Nigerian mind has to be prepared, we have to brace up.
If you may permit me to also express some kind of reservation about EFCC, has been currently constituted. We want to hold the chairman to do more. You see, there is this hysteria about social media. Yes. There is this thing about I always want to be heard. Like the issue of Yaya Bello that you've mentioned. As a lawyer, it is not being properly handled by the commission. Yes. As at last week, we had a conflicting report. Last 2 weeks. Until date, that is not cleared. One version said,
don't blame
Yaya Bello.
Don't blame
I will blame. Who do we blame?
Bawa's experience is not lesson for them.
Step aside if you cannot do the job.
No, I mean Bawa's case. I mean being hard. No, I mean being hard. How many people will be stepping aside?
I think they talk more.
See, how many people will be stepping aside?
The social media thing about our agencies and ministry is affecting officers.
And that's what I'm saying.
The EFCC
how many time will be stepping aside? I don't agree with that notion.
No.
IG will step aside. No, you are being.
He talks more. Okay, now, like I was pointing to something before I was being distracted. Yeah, you see, I was pointing to one thing. As of last 2 weeks, there are conflicting reports in the media which has not been cleared to date. That one, Yahaya Bello surrendered himself to EFCC.
It's been cleared.
And he was told, and Yahaya Bello was told to leave.
It was cleared. It was.
You understand? In another fraction.
If you have not heard, it was cleared.
In another fraction, it was a case that, Yahaya Bello was arrested, and later, it wasn't cleared.
It was cleared. I read it. It's in the media. I can stand it. It was cleared. Yahaya Bello went to EFCC at a time when enabling officers were not around.
The EFCC
went there when enabling officers were not around. They said, the officers that will receive you, the officers that will receive you, they are not here. Can you come back? They didn't ask him to go.
It is under the current.
They didn't ask him to go.
It is under the current listing of EFCC.
Gentlemen.
About officers going to effect arrest in Sagamu,
and that is why
to the hotel, enter into the kitchen, and they them to cook for them. Eat before the arrest. All of this.
Decadence is not in
all of this.
Very good. No. Decadence. That decadence is not enough to say that the chair must go.
No, you are the one. I said.
No, you have said that.
You said the expense of power. If you cannot take it for your own name and your stake,
for the sake of our time.
How many chairs will be vacating?
Now the issue is this.
The
issue is this.
With this condition, you can never get anybody with. You can never get anybody with this mind.
Gentlemen. No, I need us to listen because we have limited time to talk about this issue, and we shouldn't drag the case here and there and not make concluding sense of this whole conversation.
I agree with you.
At the end of the day, the matter is not about Yahaya Bello. The matter is about Bobrisky, Verydarkman.
And it's not about the chairman of EFCC
and also, well. Yes, because you have been insinuating that it shouldn't be the matter of asking him to leave. The National Assembly has not said that, so we shouldn't be preempting.
No. I
or giving them something to talk about.
I warned. I didn't conclude. I warned.
Yeah, so there is no
whatever they are going
on it
do,
over and over again because
whatever they are going to do,
indoctrinating them to say, you know what, perhaps we should start looking in this direction.
Yeah.
But how to have a conclusive issue to addressing this matter of the rot in the various ministries is what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Agencies, ministries, we need to address it. How our agencies have got to this point and how it is that government or ministers who are in charge of these agencies are not doing the right thing over the years to address the rot. That is the focus, and that is what I want you to address.
Let me say this.
Yes.
As far as the Ministry of Interior is concerned, I think the most strategic agencies under that ministry should be Nigerian Correctional Service Center.
But how is it that they are not looking at the matters of the welfare and the issues that are constituting the rot?
That is gotten the less of attention.
Yes.
And when eventually they were able to suppress him and secure the man released from his hand, do you know what he said? He said, I'm convicted to die by hanging already. So even if I kill thousands of you, I'll still be taken to the same court and be convicted for nothing but to die.
Well, it's in conclusion,
you see,
because of time,
these people,
that's the time,
this agency, as far as we are concerned, they receive the less of attention.
And so
they are the most strategic towards it.
For me, I think we should do more to embolden people who have assigned to perform sensitive responsibility, like the security of our nation, anti-graft agencies. We must protect them all the time. Otherwise, we will keep demoralizing them. And it starts with the condition of service of the people, like I pointed out, people who are working under him. If you are working with someone that are under you, that does not have your satisfaction, it will be easy for that institution to achieve a lot. Then the government itself must also be able to do something on the recurring blackmail on many of our institutions. And in conclusion, the parliament should do the needful.
All right.
I'm bothered about that invitation, just like that. I'm very, very bothered about it.
But he has been invited, and so let's wait and see what the National Assembly would do. Public Affairs Analyst Razak Olukoba and lawyer, political analyst Adedotun Ajulo. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.